we go. Good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday night here at the BTA Network, and since it's Tuesday, it's time for political catch-up, which means this is our way of showing off our politics, but we won't bombard you every day. We leave that to the pros.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm your host for tonight. I am Oddball Extreme and currently joined by our master and creator, Frodo. Hello, Frodo.
What up, motherfuckers?
Yeah. And boy, let's just say a lot has happened in the past week. Of course, unless you've been living under a rock, you know what's been going on in Los Angeles. So,
Yeah.
and it's like it's getting ridiculous. And some people think that what's coming up Saturday, they're calling it. Some people are calling it a coup. No, it's a protest. In other words, for the most part, it'll be peaceful protest, but there will be idiots out there that is going to try to start trouble. So if they try to, don't try to fight back, or there's going to be trouble. Let's see.
And
Well,
with all the stuff that's been happening recently,
mm-hmm.
we've got a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is gonna be packed as much as just a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Yes.
Well, and the fact is, there's a lot of people in this country that are sickened by what has been going on.
Yeah. Sajo's in the
Um,
chat, by the way. Hey, Sajo. He said, "Remember January 6th." Yeah, exactly.
well, here's the thing: we're not going to be violent when we do our protests. We
Mm-hmm.
have no reason to be.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, uh, we now have an official new nickname for Trump,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Catheter Donnie. He was caught with a cath in his pants,
Mm-hmm. Oh, now that I
indicating
didn't know.
that yeah, watch Mr. Jesse.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
It literally shows the picture of him with his it's not visible outside his pants,
Mm-hmm.
but like if you look at his pants closely where little pecker is,
Uh-huh.
you can tell there's something there.
I think that would feel very uncomfortable not taking that thing out.
Shirley,
Yes.
I'm gonna put some this into perspective for you as a man, okay?
Okay.
And I'm not gonna claim that I'm the biggest man in the world or anything like that because I don't need to fucking flout myself. Okay.
Okay.
However, when you're talking about um a man's penis
Mm-hmm.
having anything, and I do mean anything, go up that urethra
Mm-hmm.
hurts like a motherfucker.
It's
It's
like
worse.
it's
It's
like
worse
me.
than
Yeah, it's like me getting a pap smear. Oh my
it.
god.
It's worse than you can even imagine. Because I had, when I was a younger kid, I had a fucking uh, what do you want to call it? Oh yeah, I had a fucking STD test done. And
Ooh.
back in those days, the STD tests were very ridiculously invasive. In fact, this one involved them sticking a fucking Q-tip up my urethra.
Ooh.
Let me just explain to you something really quickly
Okay.
without being rude.
Yeah.
Um, that fucker felt like uh it felt like a wire brush.
Ooh. And
Okay.
I've dealt with wire brushes. Oh God.
It felt like a wire brush going up a hole that is literally like 2/10 of an inch thick.
Ugh.
Okay. And
It's like
that's
a
a fucking Q-tip.
mm,
Okay. Imagine what the fuck it feels like to have a tube that's about, a quarter of an inch thick to a 3/8 of an inch thick
mm,
going up the same size hole.
ugh.
Okay. It, I'm going to be honest as a man, that can't fucking feel good. That can't feel good.
Mm.
So I don't care what anyone says. No.
But yeah, I finally got my sign, so I'm ready. I'll be ready to go Saturday.
Huh?
My sign, remember?
Oh, yeah.
In case you don't know, for those who don't know, I ordered a sign from Staples, and basically it says, "We're home of the free because of the brave. Since when was Taco Chump ever brave? And we're gonna keep calling it Taco, 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 Taco."
Yeah, he is a fucking taco and not the good.
Yeah. And you know what else I said? Anyone protesting the parade will be met with very heavy force. Yeah, good luck with that when it's going on all over the country. Sandra said, taco, taco, taco.
But no, I literally thinking about having a fucking pulley up my dick hurts just thinking about.
Yeah. Now, I should tell you, something else may be protesting Donald Trump, and this is one thing he can't control: Mother Nature. Because the forecast, now it's still early, it's still changeable. So, take this with a grain of salt for now. Heavy rain may be forecast for the parade. But knowing Trump, he's going to say, no, parade's going to go on rain or shine. Well, what happens if you get lightning strikes, thunderstorms? Possibly, like I said, we can't tell this far out. It can still change. It could end up being a sunny day with nothing happening. So, we'll just have to wait and
Although
see.
pers although personally I hope that we get like a PDS severe thunderstorm warning and
Mm-hmm.
you know shit like that.
Yeah, because a derecho. Let's face it, a derecho is just as dangerous and deadly as a tornado.
Yep.
In straight line winds, same problem. They can be just as destructive as a tornado. So,
Yep.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I like what Sado said. Mother Nature always wins. Yeah, it's like that old classic commercial where that lady says, "It's not nice to mess with Mother Nature." So, and in the meantime, I think there's something else going on too. I think the Pope is doing something. Okay.
Yeah, go figure.
All right, let's see. Okay, on Saturday, June 14th, the city of Chicago will host a celebration at Rate Field to mark the election of Pope Leo XIV. a native son of the city, according to various news sources. The event will feature a video message from Pope Leo XIV to the young people of the world, a Catholic mass, and other programming. Gates will open at 12:30. The program begins at 2:30, and the mass at 4 p.m. So let's just say there's gonna be a hell of a TV battle to begin with. You got this in Chicago, the parade, and all these protests going around the country too. So,
And what time is that at?
uh, let's see. The program is supposed to begin at 2:30, and the mass begin at 4. Now, I don't know if it's gonna be televised or not, but it'd be great if it were.
2:30. You said.
Yeah, program will start at 2:30. The mass will start at 4.
Okay. That's just funny because I can tell you one group of people that won't be watching that.
What's that?
Cub fans.
Oh yeah.
Because
That's right. He's from the South Side with the White Sox. That's right.
the Cubs are playing at 1:20 p.m.
Uh-oh.
against the Pirates at that time.
Oh, boy. But yeah. Now, this was published and updated yesterday. Pope Leo sells out U.S. event clashing with parade on Trump's birthday. Ooh. So, here's what happened. Pope Leo XIV has helped sell out a stadium show in Chicago while a promised virtual appearance scheduled for the same day as a major military parade in Washington, D.C. Within the first 15 minutes of ticket availability, more than 9,000 people requested seats for the Chicago gathering. By the end of the first day, that number had climbed to 20,000. As of Friday, the $5 tickets were completely sold out. Oh, the event will be streamed live online, although Catholic TV has not confirmed whether it will air the broadcast. Here's why it matters. Pope Leo's expected involvement in the Chicago event, which will be streamed online, will draw huge interest and will divide some attention away from the Trump-backed military parade the same day, the president's birthday. The Pope, in his first address to world diplomats, said the dignity of migrants had to be respected, potentially putting himself on a collision course with the Trump administration, which has stepped up enforcement of immigration law, arguing voters' concerns on the topic have long been ignored. What to know? The pontiff is set to appear on big screens at Wright Field, home of Major League Baseball's Chicago White Sox, on Saturday. Although Pope Leo XIV will not be present in Chicago for the event, he has announced that he will participate remotely from Rome with a video message to be played at the gathering, the Vatican's news service said in a June 2nd release promoting the event. That same date, President Donald Trump's birthday, Washington, D.C. will play host to a major military parade celebrating the U.S. Army's 250th birthday. Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport will be forced to shut down for several hours on June 14th to accommodate the parade, affecting more than 100 flights and thousands of passengers, according to the Washington Post. The New York Times reports the parade will feature, here we go, 28 M1A1 Abrams tanks, each weighing 70 tons, 28 Stryker armored personnel carriers, more than 100 other military vehicles, 6,700 soldiers, 50 helicopters, 34 horses, 2 mules, and 1 dog. That dog sounded unlucky. Let's see. Notably, the Army did not hold a parade for its bicentennial in 1975. While the pontiff's message will be delivered from Rome, commentators noted the symbolism in the timing. A bit of counter-programming there, said MSNBC's Jonathan Lemire. But I will say, when the Pope does come for real in the flesh, Chicago, millions of people. John Helleman, speaking alongside Lemire, added, the counter-programming point remains, Lemire, because the truth is, for America and Trump's military parade in Washington, if you don't live in Washington, that's a television spectacle. If you don't live in Chicago, the Pope's doing a video mass there at Wright Field. It's the same thing for those of us who live in New York. They're both just TV shows. And you know, that's the definition of counter-programming, which I do agree with on that. The parade in Washington, meanwhile, is being promoted as a patriotic tribute to the U.S. Army's 250th birthday. A May 21st statement from the event organizers said it aims to showcase the Army's modern capabilities and inspire a new generation to embrace the spirit of service, resilience, and leadership that defines the United States. Critics say the event is excessive and politically charged. You know, there are so many reasons that you might want to push back on this military parade. All of them have been discussed before. There's a very kind of Kim Jong-un vibe to it, Helleman told Lemire. It's obviously going to be a kind of nightmare, logistics-wise, for Washington, D.C. The streets are going to get all torn up. They're going to be filling in potholes from the damage that gets done for months to come. And he's probably right. Okay, well, let's see. There's only a couple more paragraphs here. Trump and Pope Leo's clash over immigration. Since becoming the pontiff, Pope Leo has clashed with Trump, most notably over immigration policy. In one of his first major addresses as the Pope, he signaled a clear break from Trump's immigration stance, urging respect for migrants' dignity and compassion for those seeking a better life abroad. Speaking to diplomats at the Vatican, Leo reflected on his own roots as a descendant of immigrants and a foreign missionary in Peru. My own story is that of a citizen, the descendant of immigrants, who in turn chose to immigrate, he said, adding that all people, citizens and immigrants alike, are equally worthy of dignity and protection. Leo's message contrasts sharply with Trump's vow to deport millions of undocumented immigrants. The late Pope Francis also clashed with Trump over immigration, once saying the president was not Christian for wanting to build a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border. Leo's comments suggest that the church, under his leadership, will continue to advocate for migrant rights. Before his election, Leo, then Cardinal Robert Prevost, had pushed back on U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance's claim that Catholic theology prioritized caring for one's own over others, a statement Pope Leo reportedly disagreed with. In May, Pope Leo's brother John Prevost told the New York Times that his brother was not happy with Trump's immigration policy, adding that he won't just sit back. I know he's not happy with what's going on with immigration. I know that for a fact. How far he'll go with it is only one's guess, but he won't just sit back. I don't think he'll be the silent one, John said. Let's see, what happens next? Gates for the Chicago event will open at 12:30 on Saturday, with the program set to begin at 2:30. The day will conclude with a Holy Mass at 4 p.m., led by Cardinal Blazkowicz, Archbishop of Chicago. Now, believe it or not, tickets are still available for President Trump's parade. So what's that tell you?
Believe it. I can
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
Who wants
What?
to?
Go ahead.
I mean, let me ask you a serious question. If you were in Washington D.C., would you want to be at the Orange Assholes event?
Absolutely not.
And then he did something even worse, if that's even possible, today.
What is it?
He basically told anyone who wants to do it that arresting uh, arresting Governor Newsom
Mm-hmm.
was something he agreed with.
Yeah, typically brain dead buffoon.
Yep. Yeah. So I just want to make a mention that, this is the kind of shit we're dealing with, people.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
And like I said, Donnie now has incontinence.
mm-hmm. Okay. Now, I don't know if you heard about this one, because, everything going on with Trump has probably put this under the radar. RFK Jr. ousts entire 17-person CDC vaccine advisory committee. Seriously, he did.
Can I just say that if there's one person that makes me sick more than Donald John Trump, it's that fucking bastard.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so here's what's going on. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on Monday removed every member of a scientific committee that advises the Center for Disease Control and Prevention on how to use vaccines and pledged to replace them with his own picks. Major physicians and public health groups criticized the move to oust all 17 members of the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. Kennedy, who was one of the nation's leading anti-vaccine activists before becoming the nation's top health official, has not said let me try that again. He has not said who he would appoint to the panel, but said it would convene in just 2 weeks in Atlanta. And guess what? Atlanta's exactly where the CDC is. I know exactly where it's located. Because when Mom and I go shopping east of Atlanta, we pass by it every time.
Yeah.
All right. Although it's typically not viewed as a partisan board, the entire current roster of committee members were Biden appointees. Without removing the current members, the current Trump administration would not have been able to appoint a majority of new members until 2028. Kennedy wrote in a Wall Street Journal opinion piece, "A clean sweep is needed to reestablish public confidence in vaccine science." When reached by phone, the panel's now former chair, Dr. Helen Cape Talbot of Vanderbilt University, declined to comment, but another panel member, Noel Brewer at the University of North Carolina, said he and other committee members received an email late Monday afternoon that said their services on the committee had been terminated but gave no reason. "I'd assume I'd continue serving on the committee for my full term," said Brewer, who joined the panel last summer. Brewer is a behavioral scientist whose research examines why people get vaccinated and ways to improve vaccination coverage. Whether people get vaccinated is largely influenced by what their doctors recommend, and doctors have been following ACIP guidance. Up until today, ACIP recommendations were the gold standard for what insurers should pay for, what providers should recommend, and what the public should look to. But Kennedy already took the unusual step of changing COVID-19 recommendations without first consulting the committee, a move criticized by doctors' groups and public health advocates. "It's unclear what the future holds," Brewer said. "Certainly provider organizations have already started to turn away from ACIP." Kennedy said the committee members had too many conflicts of interest. Currently, committee members are required to declare any potential such conflicts as well as business interests that arise during their tenure. They also must disclose any possible conflicts at the start of each public meeting. But Dr. Tom Frieden, president and CEO of Resolve to Save Lives and former director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, said Kennedy's actions were based on false conflict of interest claims instead of dangerous and unprecedented action that makes our families less safe by potentially reducing vaccine access for millions of people. "Make no mistake, politicizing the ACIP, as Secretary Kennedy is doing, will undermine public trust under the guise of improving it," he said in a statement. "We'll look back at this as a grave mistake that sacrificed decades of scientific rigor, undermined public trust, and opened the door for fringe theories rather than facts." Dr. Georges Benjamin, executive director of the American Public Health Association, called Kennedy's mass ouster a coup. "It's not how democracies work. It's not good for the health of the nation," Benjamin told the Associated Press. Benjamin said the move raises real concerns about whether future committee members will be viewed as impartial. He added that Kennedy is going against what he told lawmakers and the public, and the Public Health Association plans to watch Kennedy like a hawk. "He is breaking a promise," Benjamin said. "He said he wasn't going to do this." Dr. Bruce A. Scott, president of the American Medical Association, called the committee a trusted source of science and data-driven advice and said Kennedy's move, coupled with declining vaccination rates across the country, will help drive an increase in vaccine-preventable diseases. Today's action to remove the 17 sitting members of ACIP undermines that trust and upends a transparent process that has saved countless lives, Scott said in a statement. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, a doctor who had expressed reservations about Kennedy's nomination but voted to install him as the nation's health secretary nonetheless, said he had spoken with Kennedy moments after the announcement. "Of course, now the fear is that the ACIP will be filled up with people who know nothing about vaccines except suspicion," Cassidy said in a social media post. "I've just spoken with Secretary Kennedy, and I'll continue to talk with him to ensure this is not the case." The committee had been in a state of flux since Kennedy took over. Its first meeting this year had been delayed when the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services abruptly postponed its February meeting. During Kennedy's confirmation, Cassidy had expressed concerns about preserving the committee, saying he had sought assurances that Kennedy would keep the panel's current vaccine recommendations. The web page that featured the committee's members was deleted Monday evening, shortly after Kennedy's announcement. And that's it.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It just makes me sick to my stomach that we probably have the most, the dumbest cabinet probably of all time.
Oh, we have beyond the dumbest cabinet of all time. Like, trying to. I straight up think that at this point you can count their combined IQ on a fucking on a cat.
Yeah, I think their IQ was probably lower. Their combined IQ was lower than my shoe size.
Yeah, my shoe size is only 8.
Yeah,
So yeah,
mine's only 7.
yeah. So
Yeah. In the meantime, there've been some elections in different places. Like one of them is New Jersey.
yep. So how many people are gonna? Let's see. How many people are going to die?
That's a good question.
The worst part is we don't know
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
the honest to God truth,
Mm-hmm.
we can't know.
Yeah. Well, let's see. In the governor's race in the primaries, uh, okay. For the Republicans, Jack Citarelli, former state assemblyman, will be the Republican candidate, and Mikey Sherrill um, is the Democratic nominee. So, oh, it's Mickey. It looks like it's Mickey Sherrill, and it's a woman. Good. Let's see. Yeah, our big deal is not till next year for us because we're gonna have we'll have the U.S. senator. Let's see, House of Representatives District 2. Well, actually it's all 435. No, I'm sorry, all 335 in the House of Representatives. And then let's see, we got the governor. We got the governor and attorney general here in Alabama. That's next year.
Yeah, this next year we've got governor too. Luckily, our governor that I've hated for the last fucking umpteen year
Mm-hmm.
years since she's been in, I've
Mm-hmm.
hated.
Yeah, my case, same thing. Kay Ivey cannot run again because she's at her limit.
Yep,
Yep, we have a two
and
term
smart.
limit for governors here, so. Uh,
But yeah, I I'm getting so sick and tired of the whole everything.
yeah,
And, it's just everything with this idiot is getting worse and worse, and it's just every fucking thing that can go wrong has been going wrong.
oh yeah, absolutely. But what's really bothering me is people say, why do they have a Pride Month? Why isn't there a Military Appreciation Month? It's in May.
Exactly.
It's like, duh. I'm a military brat. I knew that.
Exactly.
It's like, are you really that dense?
Yes, yes, they are. I sent you something, Shirley.
Yeah, I saw it.
Go ahead and read it out loud. I want
Okay.
and give the proper attribution, of course.
Okay, of course, this is courtesy of Jesse Dollamore. He posted this on Facebook. He also posted it on X. So at least it's the same thing on both. Donald Trump is the enemy of the people. Not black people, not gays or lesbians, not trans kids, not migrants, not women, not working poor, or homeless people. None of those groups are attacking peaceful protesters or kidnapping people off the streets of America, but Donald Trump is. Oh, that's so true. And I do follow Jesse Dollamore.
It just fucking pisses me off that there's half of America
Mm-hmm.
thinks that this was a good choice. I don't see how that's even feasibly possible
Mm-hmm.
because everything that I've seen has led me to believe that there are so many more people that that just did not think Trump was a good option.
Mm-hmm.
Have like I'm one of those that never thought Trump was a good option.
Yep.
Yeah, I just like now I would love once to have your mom come on here and explain why she thinks Trump is a good president.
Yeah. Only problem is, I'm not gonna lie, her English is not exactly the best either.
Oh, I understand. But I would love to have someone who was a Trump voter do
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
and explain to us why they they thought that he was such a good president.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm sorry, that man has got to be the worst president we've ever had, and somehow he got in again. Ugh.
Yep. And I'm not sure and if I'm going to say this, if someone decides to come on the show that has that opinion that Trump was a is a good president,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to I'm not going to talk bad to them, you know? I'll give my opinion, but I want their opinion and I want it legitimately, no
Mm-hmm.
attacking, no, you know, just straight up. Why do you think Trump is a good president? What what made you vote for him?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh yeah. I don't know if you've heard about this one. Terry Moran from ABC News. First, he got suspended for calling Stephen Miller a. I can't remember what the exact thing was. Hold on. Okay, Come on. Okay, let's see. There it is. He called President Donald Trump and Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller world class haters. And that got him suspended. Well, guess what? He's been fired.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says ABC News is parting ways with veteran correspondent Terry Moran 2 days after he posted a missive on X calling Trump and Miller world class haters. The network said Tuesday afternoon that Moran's contract was about to expire, and based on his recent post, which was a clear violation of ABC News policies, we have made the decision not to renew. At ABC News, we hold all of our reporters to the highest standards of objectivity, fairness, and professionalism, and we remain committed to delivering straightforward, trusted journalism, an ABC News spokesperson said. Prominent television correspondents like Moran, who interviewed Trump in the Oval Office just 6 weeks ago, typically have multi-year contracts with their employers. The fact that Moran was at the end of a contract cycle, his deal was set to expire on Friday, according to a person briefed on the matter, made it easier for ABC to take swift action. Moran's ABC colleagues were stunned on Sunday when he posted and then deleted a highly critical piece of commentary. For Trump, Moran wrote, hatred is only a means to an end, and that end is his own glorification. That's his spiritual nourishment. For Miller, on the other hand, hatreds are his spiritual nourishment. Moran charged he eats his hate. ABC executives immediately were moved to take disciplinary action. Trump administration officials also publicly called on the network to suspend or terminate him. This is unhinged and unacceptable, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said. Within a matter of hours, Moran had been suspended, with ABC saying that his post violated our standards and did not reflect the views of ABC News. Reactions supposedly split along partisan lines, with pro-Trump columnists arguing that Moran should be fired and anti-Trump writers lamenting that he was suspended for speaking truth about power. White House Communications Director Stephen Chung responded to the news of Moran's exit by writing on X, "Talk shit, get hit." It was a twist on a threatening slogan that Trump had been using in relation to the protests in Los Angeles. They spit, we hit. Moran, a former Nightline anchor who has been ABC's senior national correspondent in recent years, did not immediately respond to a request for comment today.
Yeah. Well. But yeah. How about this? Let's end tonight's episode a little early, just because I don't think there's much more we can say. We're beating a dead horse at this point.
Yeah, well, actually, there is one more thing. Joy Reid, you remember her from MSNBC? She now has her own show on YouTube.
Good.
So, that's
All
a
right.
good thing. All right, so yeah, we are going to end it early because you're right. I mean, we're trying to get as much meat out of it as possible. We don't want to overdo it either. So,
Exactly.
yep. So anyway, basic plan. Only one more show this week on Friday. Trivia night.
I'm gonna just bounce right now.
All right, I'll take it from here. All right, so that's that. So yeah, there goes the First Amendment. Yep, you're right. Let's see. According to Sajo, New York primary for mayor city council offices that is running in city and local elections on June 24th. Yep, there are going to be a lot of elections going on, and a lot of them will be heated. So try to be careful out there. And yes, I will be joining a protest on Saturday here where I live. So, all right. So, like I said, Friday is trivia night. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the ending. So, hang on for 15 seconds. Ending. Alright, so with that in mind, I'm going to say love, peace, and chicken grease. Everyone have a great night. Sleep well, stay safe, and we'll see you Friday for trivia night. Peace.